It's been over a week since we last checked out the Shiba Inu coin, so it's time to perform some technical analysis and make some price predictions on where we can expect to see the coin go in the next few days, weeks and months. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video, and today we're taking another look at the Shiba Inu coin, also known as SHIB. We're going to perform our usual technical analysis and make some price predictions on where we can expect to see the coin's value go within the next few weeks. But since we last checked this out over a week ago, Shiba Swap has dropped. So that is going to be, I suppose, a big influencer now on the value of the coin going forward. But before we start, guys, remember to leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and if you want to see more crypto, stock market, investing and wealth management content, hit subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. I'd also, of course, love to know down in the comments section below if you are a SHIB coin holder. But let's jump straight into CoinSpot and check it out. Welcome into CoinSpot, guys. If you're looking to buy the Shiba Inu coin or any other cryptocurrencies, there's a link down in the description so you can sign up and get started straight away. But let's take a look at what's been going on with SHIB Coin. And the last time we took a look at SHIB was on the 6th. So what I'm going to do is just grab a line and put it in place roughly at what time it was that we looked at this coin, and it would have been roughly about this point in time here. Let me just mark that one right there for us, make it nice and thick. Now unfortunately, as you can see, we have dropped, but the overall crypto market has dropped. So are we surprised? No, not really. But then at the same time, Shiba Swap did drop as well. So I think a lot of investors were expecting us to see a rise, and quite a sharp one at that, instead of the drop we have seen. Now let's just look at the price action obviously over the past few days. You can see the volume's been really up and down, and I believe it was actually roughly at this point here where Shiba Swap actually did drop. So you can see there was large volume going up and down at the same time, plenty of price action. I'm assuming a lot of traders and investors would have been using this, I suppose, as a catalyst to either enter or exit. So that's why I suppose the price didn't really change within that period, but it does look quite volatile. Now, since that point, we have, I suppose, settled into a bit of a downtrend. I'm going to just mark from this point, and it doesn't really, I suppose, work in that sort of perspective, but I suppose you could put something like this in place in order to depict that we are moving that way. We were within some sort of a channel, as you can see here, and we dropped out of it briefly, and then we've come back and dropped once again, and we've really moved out of it. So we can't really use that as, I suppose, a bit of a basis. So instead, what I'm going to do is use our typical resistance and support points to identify where we're currently sitting at. So let's zoom out slightly. I apologize if it's a bit hard to see, but we are currently sitting at 0.968 Australian dollars. I'm just going to mark a point where I think we are seeing, I suppose, this is major support at the bottom here. Let's just mark that one in. Then moving up from there, and that major support, was at roughly 775. I'm going to copy that, move it up, and then to the next support point, which I think is actually where we're about sitting right now. You can see there has been plenty of price action at this point in time. It's, I suppose, another critical area for us to stay above if we can, and that's at roughly, 950. Chuck that one in there. So we're really, I suppose, sitting at that point and possibly, or hopefully, bouncing from it. Now obviously we're looking at an hourly chart here, so it's a bit harder to, I suppose, identify. You can see we're tightening from this sort of a perspective, moving downwards. This is a shorter term channel, and it's going to come to a point where at about here we're going to see it either break upwards or it's going to break downwards. Hopefully, obviously for investors, it does break upwards, and I suppose with the overall crypto market, if it recovers, it will more than likely move in that direction. although in saying that, it hasn't been performing particularly well. Now let me just go to the daily. I'll zoom back in here so we can see exactly what's going on. One key thing to note from the daily chart is the fact that we're not seeing major volume spikes or whatever down here. So the decline hasn't been something that I suppose has been major. We don't need to worry about it from that point of view. And you'll see, I suppose, from the moving averages, which I'm about to chuck in now, exactly that fact. So that's a 9-day. I want to put in a 20-day. Chuck that one in. You can see we're not too far below the moving average. It's still trending in, I suppose, a horizontal sort of fashion. Now I expect we'll continue to move there. The 2 points that we're really going to be moving between are this point down here, which is our major support at roughly 770, and then a top point up here, which we will really need to break through at some stage, which is at 1310 roughly, or 1315. And that's where we're going to need to break through in the future. Let's just put a line in to mark that one out, as you can see. And I think what's going to happen is this entire pattern is going to become prevailing a lot more. See how we're going up and down between these 2 points? We're now trending downwards. If we do break, it's going to end up looking a bit like that. Hopefully it doesn't occur. And what we do see instead is something a bit more like this. So we're not entering this channel again, and it looks like we could have potentially just bounced off it, but that has not been confirmed yet. We will need to break this downtrend over the past week for that to occur. So we'll see what happens, I suppose, in that sort of aspect. Now let's just check out the MACD. It'll give us a clear indication, I suppose, of where we're headed. You can see we had our little cross at this point, which was on the 10th, and that's obviously as a result of us starting to move in downwards direction again. But these averages are pretty close at the moment, so I think we are likely going to see either one dip really far below, or one, I suppose, just overlap slowly if we do keep trading horizontally instead of, dipping downwards. So nothing major there. If I also chuck in the relative strength index, you can see, in fact, we're moving towards the oversold region. We're still obviously within the middle section between the 30 points and 70 points perspective, but that does mean we are still, I suppose, trending towards that oversold area. Hopefully it doesn't get all the way down there, but there is plenty of room for buyers to come in now and start propping the share price up, or the coin price, sorry. So I suppose, what's the target for today's video from a price perspective? Well, my target is actually to not go below this 950 key support point that we're sitting at now, and hopefully what we do see is this downtrend right here is breached. We start moving up and we go back to test this 1315 point here. That is really where we want to be headed within the near future. I'm just going to show you one last thing. We could potentially be putting in a bit of a line here as well, as we have seen the bottoms across this sort of period. So I don't think we're really ever going to go back now and touch this real bottom support point here at 770. I think we're going to maintain above it now as long as these sort of trends hold. We are getting high highs and lower lows. Obviously this double bottom here signified for us that this sort of looks like the downtrend was ending. But as I say, guys, SHIB is really dependent on the overall crypto market performing. It isn't able to perform on its own in this point of time. So if Bitcoin starts pumping upwards, SHIB is going to follow it, for instance. So let's hope that does occur and we do see a move towards the 1315 mark. That wraps up the SHIB analysis for today, guys. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below and whether you hold SHIB or are planning to in the near future. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of this sort of content, please subscribe and turn on bell notifications. We cover investing, crypto, stocks and wealth management. So if that tickles your fancy, join the channel. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.